Good morning, second English students. Now we will continue this book Indian Mythology by Devdutt Pattanaik. And actually not all of you, maybe half of you draw the diagram, and that is the regular triangle represents male, and the inverted triangle represents female. Okay, so as these triangles join, we get a beautiful star. And when men and women join together, and there is fertility happens, human existence happens, and it adds beauty to the world. Okay. So, actually I simply mentioned you to draw the diagram. Okay, so this is the point which you have to write. So, the regular triangle represents male, and the inverted triangle represents female. And when both the triangle are joined together, we get a beautiful star. And ordinary regular triangle and inverted triangle, they simply act as triangle, but when they join together, they act as a beautiful star. Okay, and the fertility, when men and women join together, when they live together, that is the beauty of the world. Okay, and now see, man represents spirituality, and women represents material reality. Okay, so man represents spirituality, and women represent material reality. Okay, man is outside the world, women is inside the world. Okay, man is soul, and woman is body. Okay, so both body and soul are same. Without body, soul is nothing. Without soul, body is nothing. Okay, likewise, man is nothing without a woman, and woman is nothing without man. Okay, so these points are important. And man is representing the he should be outside the world, and woman should be inside the world. Okay, and man represents soul, and woman represents body, and body we must give importance to both the body and the soul. Okay, when we don't give importance to body, soul is nothing, and when we give importance only to soul, and then body is nothing. Okay, so we have to give importance to both. Okay, so in our life also, men and women, in our life, the society should give importance to both men and women. Okay, so man is supposed to be outside the house, and women is supposed to be inside the house. This is the basic idea of Hinduism. Okay, and so now, as women represents the fertility symbol in marriage, childbirth, harvest, doorways, women should take part. Okay, so in marriage, in childbirth, and in harvest, women should be the leader. Okay, women should take a prominent role in these activities. Okay, so women represents fertility, and she represents inside the household activities. So whatever we do, especially in the activities of marriage, childbirth, harvest, and in all the household activities, women should be given importance. So when a man is inside the house, she should be given importance in taking decisions, and whatever the activity may be inside the house, women should be given importance. Okay, and so women also should use mango leaves, marigold flowers, and banana and beetle leaf, and women should draw beautiful diagrams at their doorstep. Okay, that is column. Okay, women should draw beautiful diagrams at the doorway, and also it is responsibility of women to take care of the house, and men also should give freedom to women in the matter of household activities. Okay, so this is said to be Hinduism. Okay, according to Devdutt Purana. Whether you like it or not, whether you want to follow it or not, you decide. But this is what we should do as a Hindu. Okay, and the activities away from the activities that the job that we do outside the house, that is working away from house, doing meditation and giving up material desire, and these things men should do. Men should take the responsibility, and men should involve in these activities, doing meditation and exploring the world, and giving up desire. So such thing men should do. Okay, so for that all men, not always, they often they should go for they should go to Sabarimala. Okay, so that is the temple. That is Sabarimala is a temple to give up our desires. Okay, so in our life, maybe 1 or 2 months or 45 days or once in a year, we should lead a life giving up desires. Okay, so when we go to Sabarimala for 1.5 months or 2 months, we should lead a life of celibacy. When we go before going to Sabarimala temple, we all should lead a life of celibacy. And remember that women also can go to Sabarimala. That is what given in this book. Okay, you know that there are lots of controversy. Can women go or not? Can a young girl go or not? Only old women can go. Those things are all politics. It is not discussed in this book. But what is given here is women also can go to Sabarimala. Okay, all of us once in a year we should go to Sabarimala, and before going to Sabarimala, we should lead a life of celibacy. Okay, how is the life of celibacy? That is the celibacy, lead a life of celibacy is giving up desire. Okay, we should not have any desire. Okay, therefore during that time, during that 1 month or 2 months time, we should wear only black clothes, black colored clothes, and we should eat only once. Okay, once in a day we can eat, and we should have cold bath. We cannot have a warm bath, warm water bath. We should have only cold bath, and we should walk only in bare feet. We cannot wear chappals or shoes. Okay, women also can lead such a life of celibacy. Women also can go to Sabarimala, and all of us should go to Sabarimala once in a year. We should lead a life of celibacy. Okay, so we can focus on material life at the same time once in a year or twice in a year. I mean, often we should lead a life of celibacy. Okay, so that should be the case. And Ganesha is actually god of celibacy. Okay, so Ganesha is a bachelor. He doesn't marry, and we should worship Ganesha, indicating that yes, I can also lead a life of celibacy. Okay, so therefore Hinduism strongly recommends that we should lead the life of material life, following all the desires, working hard to achieve the desires, and at the same time often we should lead the life of celibacy. completely leading the life of celibacy is also not recommended in Hinduism, and completely leading the life of materialism is also not recommended. Both we should follow. Okay, so often we should lead the life of celibacy, that is wear only black clothes, and we walk only in barefoot, eat only once in a day, and of course we should not have any sexual contact with anybody. So such kind of celibacy life both the men and women should involve, but in these matters men should take their responsibility. Okay, because these are involved in outside the world, and men should take the responsibility, and men should guide that this is how you have to do. Okay, and women should help the men in these matters. In case of the activities inside the house, men should help women. Women should take the responsibility. Okay, that's what I understand, and that's what the Dev Patnaik says. Okay, so that's about sacred symbols, and I mean that is the inner meaning of sacred symbols. And of course, I can if I want me to elaborate on each and everything, and the table itself needs many classes, but okay, as it is, if the book is prescribed as, for the whole paper, then we can do it. As it is prescribed as only one unit, this much is enough. And moving to next topic, sacred rituals. Okay, so sacred narratives is over, and sacred symbols that is also over, and the next topic is sacred rituals. So sacred rituals is the most important thing to be followed by Hindus. Okay, so it is only through sacred rituals we communicate with God, we unite with God, we unite with cosmos. So sacred ritual is very important. Those sacred symbols and sacred narratives we should know. Ramayana, Mahabharatam, and Upanishads and other mantras, of course we should know, and we should know the meaning of sacred symbols also. We should use banana and a betel leaf and other symbols in our life. That is also important. Above these things, sacred ritual is very important. All of us should follow the sacred ritual. Okay, this actually ritual unite the narrative and the symbols. Okay, so it is only through ritual we communicate with God, and we unite with cosmos. Okay, so some of the ritual which women should follow in household activities. Okay, so there are many rituals. Okay, one example is vrata. Okay, vrata is a household ritual performed by women. Without a priest, a woman should perform this ritual, and these rituals are performed by women inside the house without the help of priest. Without the help of priest, women should perform vrata, V-R-A-T, it is there in the book, and they should perform these rituals without the help of priest, and to ensure health and happiness inside the house. To ensure the health and happiness inside the house, women in the house should perform vrata. Okay, so how can they perform this ritual? It is often they should contact with the banyan tree. Okay, they should often visit a banyan tree or peepal tree, and they should pray to God there. And then inside the house they should often sing songs in praise of a deity or any god. Okay, if they do it, it is believed that health and happiness will happen in inside the house. Okay, and all the social involvement, women should join together. They alone simply cannot lead life. Women often with the neighbors, with the relations. Women they should join together and they should sing songs, and everything should be performed by women. Okay, so women are not supposed to. I forgot the word in English. Taniya இருக்கிறது, to be alone. Women generally women should not like to be alone. Women should be. Basically, I do not know the basic nature of women, but basic psychology of women that I do not know. But generally, women should not be alone. They should not like loneliness. Okay. Rather, men can like loneliness and they can go for meditation. Women should often involve with other women. They should join together and they should talk about the household activities. They should talk about how to protect the house, and such thing women should do. Okay. So all the rituals, praising God and singing about God, visiting other places, women should join together and they should be united. Okay, to protect the house. Okay, so for that they should do to protect the house. They should do Santoshima Varta. Varta, that is Virada. Okay. Santoshima Varta, SANTHOSHIM-MA Varta, VRATA, that is doing Viradam. Often my mother and women do perform Viradam. Okay, that is the word for Viradam is Tamil word, but the word given in the book is Santoshima Varta. Okay, so how to perform this Viradam, this Santoshima Varta? So when you perform Viradam, that is Santoshima Varta, women should eat only once in a day, and that too they can eat jaggery and gram. They should avoid sour food. Okay, the food which is sour in taste, they should avoid it. So when women do these kinds of rituals, they invoke God and they communicate with God. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, my personal opinion is that often this book says that women should do these things. Women should do these things. Many things are pointed out towards women, but only one point about men. Okay, men should do meditation, men should do outside the world, men should explore world, and women also can explore world, but women should explore world and women should lead the life of celibacy, but with the help of men should help women in these matters, and inside the house women also should help men in these household activities. Okay, this is my personal point. Okay, leave it. And so that's all about sacred ritual, and we shall move to the next topic in the first unit, the functions of myth. Okay, what are the functions of myth? And so the most important function of a myth is that myth acts as a glass to look in the world. Myth act as a glass to look in the world. Okay, so if I have some problem in my eye, so I use specs so that I can easily see the world. I can see the world properly. So as I have defect in my eyes, I use specs so that it is easy for me to see the world. I can properly see the world. Myth is like that. So we do not have the natural brain, man's natural brain do not have the capacity to look the world properly. myth act as a glass to look the world properly. Okay, so when we look into the myth, there are two paradigms, Paradigm. Paradigm means pattern. Okay, I already told you. Okay, so now I am not going to again tell you the meaning of the word paradigm. Paradigm is pattern. Okay, so there are two paradigms in the myth. First one is linear paradigm. Second one is cyclical paradigm. Okay, first one is linear paradigm. Second one is cyclical paradigm. So linear Islam, Christianity emphasizes linear paradigm. Okay, Christianity and Islam are examples of linear paradigm, and Hinduism is Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism. These are examples of cyclical paradigm. Okay, so then what do you mean by linear paradigm? Linear paradigm believes that there is only one belief. Linear paradigm believes that there is only one God. Okay, linear paradigm believes that there is only one God, there is only one birth, and there is only one sacred book, and follow it. If you follow it, you will have eternal life. If you do not follow it, you have eternal hell. So this is called as linear paradigm. Let me again explain what is linear paradigm. Linear paradigm is a belief. Okay, and in that belief there is only one God. Okay, there is only one life. There is only one sacred book. And if you follow it, you get eternal life. If you do not follow it, you get eternal hell. Okay. In case of cyclical, the paradigm is cyclical. Okay, that is birth, life, death, and again birth, life, death. Okay, see, open at page 35. Okay, so you should draw this diagram. Both linear paradigm diagram and cyclical paradigm diagram. So in linear paradigm diagram, birth, life, death, death and afterlife. That's all. Okay, birth, life, death and afterlife. So most of you are Christians. So according to your linear paradigm, there is birth and there is life and there is death, and after that there is life. Okay, in after death, are you in hell or heaven? That depends on how far you have followed your own gospel. So this is said to be linear paradigm. You have to draw this diagram. And another diagram, cyclical paradigm, is what Hinduism says. There is birth, and because of birth there is life, and because of life there is death, and because of death there is afterlife, and because of afterlife there is birth and life, death. So such kind of cyclical paradigm is emphasized in Hinduism. Okay, so linear paradigm emphasizes that birth and you follow the life of Jesus Christ or Quran, and then after that you face God, and God judges you that yes, you can live in heaven. No, you cannot live in heaven. You have to live in hell only, and that's all. So there is said to be linear paradigm. In case of a cyclical paradigm, so you born as a human being, you lead a life, and you have a death, and definitely you will have one more life. Okay, after death again you will born, And when the next time, I do not know whether you will born as a human being, or you will born as a dog, or you will born as a cat, or you will born as a male, or you will born as a female, or even transgender. Nothing we do not know. But when there is life, there is death, and after death you will born again. Okay. So this cyclical paradigm will continue forever and ever. Okay, so this is the concept of Hinduism. Okay, and so see, let me narrate the story in Tamil. Open at page 38 and 39. So, two short stories are given in. Okay, let me stop here. Let me narrate the story in the next class, next video, because it is 25 minutes. So let me stop here. Okay. So draw the diagram, and I actually explain the diagram also. Okay, and then let me tell the story, and let me explain the book further in the next video. Okay, thank you.